Welcome back, everybody. This is another edition, sort of an unexpected edition of another new guitar. Truth in advertising, I'm a price slut. This guitar came up for $128. I had a $20 coupon for $108. I get a brand new guitar shipped to my front door. Now, they do say you get what you pay for, so if it turns out that this thing's a total dog, I will have no one to blame but myself, and I won't complain. I'll just send it back. Anyways, this will complete the trifecta of my Les Paul Black Beauties. I have a 2 pickup version, I have a 3 pickup version, and as you can see from the past videos, I've had 2 of the single pickup versions in Sunburst, but they turned out to be not so good, so I sent them back. And then this came up, and this is another Black Beauty. So again, this is a single pickup Black Beauty, Les Paul, Chibson, of course, nothing but the best for this guy. And again, like I said, the price, these are only priced at the $180, $190 into the $225, which again, if it's a decent guitar, is certainly a fair price. But yeah, for some reason, for a couple of days, they had these listed for $128, and I just thought, okay, well, watch me go. Watch me just like a dog with a bone. So I went for it, and we'll see what we have. If I had one wish, it would have been that it had a wraparound tailpiece instead of a stop bar tune-o-matic, but that's just a small cosmetic difference. The experts among us would argue that there's a tone difference and a playability difference, and maybe there is. One of my favorite sayings is, if you can tell a difference, it makes a difference. For me, not so much. Just like with the pickups. I mean, I replace nothing on these guitars. Most people, or many people who buy these guitars, do intensive replacements. I mean, they replace all kinds of stuff. Let's just do the basics. No broken on the neck. The guy with the buffing machine was pretty serious on this one. You can see a lot of buff scratches, but again, I don't care. I'm not going to worry about it. Cosmetically, I don't expect these guitars to be perfect. Fret ends feel fantastic. The nut feels like it's set in there correctly. It's I have no idea what it is. It's odd too because it's a custom, but it has the snot green plastic tuners, which generally the customs will have the butter beans. So I'm just going to take some pictures of this. I'm going to tune it up, play it, and we'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. It is still Tuesday, but now it's later Tuesday afternoon. It is August the 11th, 2026. And we're back just to give the preliminary. We've played this guitar now for a few hours. Overall, quite satisfied with this guitar. If you followed my other videos, you know that I had 2 other ones of this single pickup Les Paul iteration. Those 2 I called Les Paul Jr. Deluxes and Standards. This I'm calling a Les Paul Jr. Custom. None of these guitars actually existed. It's funny, people ask, well, what's this guitar based on? And then people chimed in and said, oh, it's based on the 58 Les Paul. Well, it turned out Gibson never made a single pickup Les Paul. They made the Junior, but in this configuration, they never made a 58 single pickup. It was actually just sort of a faux guitar reissued through the custom shop as a special order. And so that's what they say this is based on. But it's really just an imaginary guitar. And being that this is a Chibson, it's even more imaginary. So here's the good, the bad, and the ugly. The truth is there's really nothing ugly about this guitar. The 2 things that concern me is the action was a bit high, and the bridge is pretty much all the way down low. So that means that either, didn't set the neck properly. Anyways, the neck had forward bow to it, so I tightened it up. I took it down to .010. A lot of Les Paul aficionados say it should be at .050, .070. My feeler gauge doesn't go that low, so I just put it at 10. It feels fine. The action was improved a little bit. It's not overly high. I don't demand ultra low action. Overall, it works fine. There's no buzzing, there's no choking, there's no dead notes. So there doesn't seem to be any high frets or anything. Interesting to note, this guitar does not have ball-in frets on it, which I thought that at this point everything coming out of the Chinese factories had graduated to ball-in frets. These are cut pretty good, but there's definitely some sharpness on a few of them that need to be filed down, which again is no big deal. It was just sort of surprising because, again, I haven't gotten a single Chibson. I don't think I've gotten a single Chibson that wasn't a ball-in fret, so I don't know why this is an oddball. Another odd thing about this guitar is because it is a custom, and yet it has the tuning knobs, the machine heads or whatever you call them, that you would normally find on a standard. Normally on the customs, it's the Grover style with the sort of oval metal, whatever the hell those are. I'm having a brain fade. So again, this must have just been, this is what we've got on the factory shelf. The good news is with the Chibson, there's nothing official about anything, so anything goes. You can sort of throw anything on it you want. The other thing that's surprising about this particular guitar, well, one thing that sort of disappointed me, again, this guitar suffers from what the other two of the single pickup, it has a hum in the humbucker, which is really weird because I've checked the usual suspects, which would be the cord, the power source, items in the room that are interfering and causing RF noise to make it through the signal chain. I've got a boatload of single coil pickup guitars, P90s, Stratocasters. I get none of that noise, and yet I get it. I get a couple of Rickenbacker, Fakenbackers, Chickenbackers, Rickenfakers. They supposedly have dual coil pickups, and I get that low hum with them too. Again, once you start playing, the hum disappears because the volume's much less than the actual what's coming out of the amp. But it's more the principle of the idea. A humbucker shouldn't hum, and they hum. But either way, it's fine. But the tone of this guitar, I really like it compared to the other two, the two Cherry Burst standards that I had, single pickup. Tone was okay out of that. Out of this, though, because as I've said before, as a general rule, if I've got 2 or 3 pickups, I rarely, if ever, use just a bridge pickup. They're usually just too brittle and just too, and I know a lot of lead players, that's what they play the lead through because they want to cut through the mix. I'm in my living room. I don't have to cut through the mix. I prefer a warmer sound on my lead, so generally speaking, I use either both of them or I'll use the neck pickup. But this one has really nice, and also surprising too, I don't have to turn the tone like on these two Chibson SG Juniors. I have to turn the tone down to like 0.5, or otherwise it's just too shrill and too harsh. With this, I believe I've got this at 3, which is nice. So overall, very satisfied with this guitar. I really am very satisfied with it. Of the 3 Black Beauties, as they're called, I will probably keep this one. More than likely, the first one I'm going to sell is the 2 pickup model because I have a couple other Les Pauls with 2 pickups that I like as much, if not more. And then maybe the black one will go, or I'll get rid of the Ace Frehley. The blue one, who knows? I've got too many guitars. Anyways, I will be back in a day, a week. Nothing on the horizon at all. That means nothing because a week ago this wasn't on the horizon, and then it popped up. And again, like I confessed, I'm a price select. You put this on for $128, and I have a $20 coupon that takes it down to $108. I'm in because again, Timu is very kind about if you have a, I won't return a guitar to them on a remorse return. That's not fair. But if there's an issue with the guitar, I have no problem returning it. But this one seems to pass the test. I did mention you can't photograph it. Again, it's purely cosmetic. But whoever did the buff job on the back got a little carried away with the buffer. But again, one of my cliched saying is if there's a flaw on the guitar and it's in a place where I don't see it when I'm playing it, I don't really care. So that would include the back of the guitar, the bottom of the guitar, the back of the headstock, the side of the headstock. If I can't see it, it just doesn't bother me. On the other hand, if it's like right in my line of sight and I'm constantly looking at it, it tends to bug me. Because I do have a little bit of OCD, and it will just sort of sit there and chew away at my brain. But this guitar, quite nice. So I'm going to go file the fret ends just to clean them up a little bit, and like I said, I'll be back in a week or so and just give you the final analysis. But so far, this guitar, 2 thumbs up. And it did give me the black finger syndrome, but it's all done now because I just played for an hour and there's just very little. So not bad at all. Okay, well, thank you for joining us, and till then. Ooh, welcome back, everybody. It's Tuesday, August the 18th, 2026. It's about 5:15 in the afternoon. We are at we've reached the pinnacle of what I believe is summertime. We'll still have some warm days. Today's 84, 85 degrees. That's warm. Supposed to go up to 90 in a couple days, and then we'll go back down again. To be expected, but again, much more reasonable than that 103 degree day that we had just a week or two ago. Anyways, I wanted to put a period at the end of the sentence here once again. This is my Chibson. I'm calling this one a Les Paul Custom Junior. And the reason why I'm calling it a custom is it's got the binding on both the top and the back. It has the split, whatever you call that, diamond thingamajig. It's got the block inlays, and it has a single pickup. Not a guitar that they ever made. I believe I bored you with the details in the previous part of this video that a couple guitar shops did special requests from the custom shop, and they called this a 58 single pickup, but Gibson never made a 58 single pickup other than the Junior, and that had a P90. So this is just an anomaly. And then the other thing about this guitar, and again, this is the beauty of a Chibson, is that none of this is period correct anyways, but this has the Clusen style tuners, the snot green that everyone hates that I could care less. Well, they don't work very well, but again, for the price, it's a bargain. And I think I'm just going to put some double stick tape on and give it a pickguard. I'm not going to go to the trouble of putting the bracket on or drilling holes in the guitar. This way I can just take it off when I want. And nobody will be the wiser. And I'll just ignore the empty space up here where the pickup would have been. Hey, it's my guitar. I can do what I want. Anyways, the quality of this guitar is fantastic. I've had it now just a little under 2 weeks. Played it often, multiple times. Again, the weak spot are the tuners. But, when you're playing in your living room and you can stop after every song if you need and do a quick tune, it's not a big deal. It would be problematic on stage. That is the least of my worries. I'm quite certain I will never step foot on another stage. So, yes, I really like this guitar. And it turns out I like it better than the Sunburst model that I had 2 of. This also suffers from this mysterious hum from the humbucker. I don't get it. I've got other humbucker guitars. If I go to the bridge position, no noise at all. So I don't know if these all come from the same factory, if they don't wire them correctly. It's a very quiet hum. When you touch, it disappears, and when you're playing, you can't hear it. So all you have to do is just reel in your OCD, or my OCD as it were, and just ignore it and enjoy the guitar. There was a little bit of grittiness on the frets that just played right off. Ball-in frets on this one, I believe. They also rolled the edges on this neck exactly like the dual humbucker Black Beauty. The triple one has very sharp edges on the binding, which at some point I may or may not smooth out. I have no idea if I'll do that. I'm lazy. You know it, I know it, and the neighbor's dog wants to bark, so just go along with it. That's Daisy, by the way. Daisy the Great Dane that likes to bark at nothing. So, I'm going to go ahead and post this because I have another guitar coming in 2 days, and it's a bit of an odd one, and there's a good story behind it as well. So, yeah, I'm just really pleased with this guitar, you know, and the price was just outstanding. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I probably told you already, but if I didn't, I went online and it was like $125. And that was like with no discounts or anything, and I had a $20 coupon. And it brought it down to $105. Shipped to my front door. What was I expecting? Potentially a real piece of junk. As I've told you many times, I do not prefer gold on my hardware. But I will say on a black guitar, if there's any guitar that gold works with, in my humble opinion, it's a black guitar. It just sets itself up nice. Of course, this is the cheapest of the cheapest of the cheap Chinese gold. If I stare at it too long, it'll probably flake off. But for the time being, it looks really classy. It really just has that nice look. And the other one too, again, these are just cosmetics. But the Cherry Burst single pickup had a white surround on the humbucker, and the black to me just looks much better. It's invisible. So the gold pickup just really pops. So there you go. The Chibson Les Paul Junior Custom. Yes, that's what we're going to call it, the Junior Custom. Because the name tag on the truss rod cover says Les Paul Custom, and it's a single pickup with just 2 controls, so that's a Junior. So it works for me. Anyways, hope you're staying cool, and we'll be back in a few days with our next acquisition. Till then.